4th of July, a day for barbecues, fireworks, and celebrating being American. But what does being American even mean? For some, it means freedom. For others, it means opportunity. And for many, it means independence. But how did the United States become independent? Let's go back to the beginning, 1776. The 13 American colonies were a part of the British Empire. They had a king, they had an established church, and they had a parliament that made laws for the colonies, but not in the colonies. The representatives in parliament were appointed by the king, and they didn't always represent the interests of the colonists. And as the colonies grew, so did their frustration. They wanted a voice in their own government. They wanted representation. But then things got really frustrating. The British started taxing the colonies. They passed the Stamp Act, which put a tax on all paper goods. The colonists protested by starting a boycott of British goods. Then the British government passed the Intolerable Acts, which punished the colonies for the boycott. The acts closed the Port of Boston and Massachusetts General Court. This meant that no representative from Massachusetts could be elected until the debt from the tea was paid. The colonists were furious. In response to the Intolerable Acts, the First Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. Representatives from every colony except Georgia met to discuss a unified response. They wanted to send a message to Britain. So they wrote a list of their grievances and then sent that list to the king. But the king didn't care. He was a stubborn monarch. So the colonists took more drastic measures. They formed militias and began to prepare for war. They knew that if this conflict was going to be settled, it would be settled on the battlefield. Meanwhile, the king hired mercenaries to put down this rebellion. On June 1775, the fighting began at Bunker Hill. It was a costly victory for the British, and it convinced them that they needed to change their strategy. If they were going to win the war, the turning point came when the colonists won the Battle of Saratoga. This victory convinced France that the colonists had a real chance of winning the war. So France joined the conflict, and 2 years later, so did Spain and the Netherlands. With the help of these European powers, the colonists were able to defeat the British. And on July 1776, the Continental Congress declared the 13 colonies to be the independent United States of America. The very next day, the Declaration of Independence was signed. It explained the reasons for the separation, and it listed the colonies' grievances against the king. It was based on the Enlightenment ideas of natural rights, and it profoundly influenced the way we think about government today. It's no wonder we celebrate it every year on July. It's the birth of freedom, or at least the birth of the United States. For more explosive historical tales, stay tuned.